Outstanding, the ultimate accolade for teachers. We challenge primary teacher James Evelyn to go from good to outstanding. A top inspector observes one lesson. 2 experts will fine-tune his practice and help improve his presentation. He also gets comments and advice from teachers across the country who've seen his lesson on the web. James then has 2 weeks to take on all the advice before the inspector comes back for the final verdict.
Having a 1-hour lesson on the internet, you know, it's there, it's warts and all, but you kind of think, oh my God, there's so much stuff on there, how bad is my lesson?
Just watch how it looks.
It looks almost sort of dictatorial.
How does this look?
It's very defensive.
Yeah.
It doesn't look very authoritative in the mirror. It looks too relaxed and casual.
So just find now a gesture which maybe would demonstrate now children come to the carpet.
OK, children, come to the carpet now, please.
Yeah.
And point to the carpet.
So now try to find something with both hands.
OK, children, come to the carpet now, please.
No, they were sitting up there in the
Oh,
corner. They're sitting all over there on the tables, at their tables, and gather them and get them to the carpet.
OK, children, come to the carpet now, please.
Yeah. How is this?
We're supporting what I'm asking them to do.
Yeah.
Quite clearly.
Yeah. Good, and I have a little present which is really only meant as a joke and which maybe help you. These are some wonderful golden safety pins. So if you want to close your pockets, just to remind yourself.
OK, thank you very much. Before we move on today, we're going to do just some quick work, just refreshing our memories after the weekend.
So, coming to the voice, I'd like you to hold this. So, we will start with a one-to-one. And you explain to me what you'd like me now to do.
OK, today we've got a pile of shapes, and we're going to sort these shapes using a Venn diagram.
OK, now we're taking it a step further, and what I like you now is to slow down and to stretch your words.
Good morning, children. Today in maths, we're going to sort these shapes on the carpet here using our Venn diagram on the board here.
Fantastic.
Is there a danger with your voice slowing down that the children might think that you're not kind of talking normally and think, what's happening here?
OK, now, you can balance this out by going up and down more with your voice.
Right.
Yeah?
OK.
Try it once more.
Good morning, children. This morning, we're going to sort these shapes using our Venn diagram on the whiteboard. OK? So think about the characteristics of the shapes and how you can sort them out in our 2 circles.
Yeah. Have you slowed down now?
I feel slower.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it sounds perfect.
With his final observation just weeks away, James is back to the classroom to put all the advice into action and work on raising his game.
I know why you're putting the pins in, because a lot of adults put their hands in their pocket.
Yeah, exactly. First of all today, everyone's going to have a number. This game is going to involve moving where you're sitting. If you are holding a multiple of 3, stand up and swap with someone else. Even number. It should be everybody else, shouldn't it? I enjoyed the session. I feel that I kind of have addressed those points which Ulrika and Andrew brought up. This time, those of you whose number is bigger than 15, and try to ensure that I'm much more forward and clear and articulate. Even number, your number divides into it. You need to move there. Ulrika's sort of pin gimmick has been a success, I think, because my hands aren't going anywhere near my pockets anymore. Today, we're going to move on to using timetables. In my hand here, I got this last night on the way home from work, I picked up a timetable. What do you think a timetable is?
You could use timetables if you have a meeting.
Yeah, that's true. The big things for me in this lesson were, you know, contextualising what we're learning. The fact that they kind of gave their own real-life experiences of timetables showed that it meant something more to them than perhaps the Venn diagrams might have done last time. Here's some money for you. Hold it tightly. What I want you to do is to go and buy a ticket from Jared. On that occasion, the whole role play thing, buying and selling tickets, reading timetables, getting information, really worked for them. Kind of kinesthetic things. That's the way in for them. And that was the best thing for me.
James gets a chance to reflect on his first observation with Deputy Head Caroline King.
Zed, what time's table is it in? 4? No? Okay.
No. It's like Little Britain. Computer says no. When they give you answers that aren't always correct and aren't always going to be correct, remembering that they need to feel safe in that learning environment. And sometimes the learning point for yourself and for them is the mistake. You know, and I know it's safe to always go with the ones that are able to...
It's subconscious as well, almost.
Yeah.
You don't know you're doing it.
But it's all of them need to make progress in that session. And even if the progress is she's managed to speak, it's the confidence level, isn't it?
1, 2, 3. Ooh, some of you are out. Okay.
In the 2 weeks since his observation, teachers all over the country and beyond have been watching James's lesson on the web and leaving their comments.
I think one thing I need to think about, which has been brought up on here, is how I engage all the children all the time. And one thing Caroline said, which I think has also been mentioned on the website, is the tendency to pick the same children. In my class, there's some children who are really reluctant speakers, so it's kind of tapping into them in different ways. And that's something I need to think about, definitely. This person's mentioned about the 15 minutes on the carpet sort of maximum, which is a fair point. I think I've wrestled with this quite a lot in my sort of career, and you are always mindful of that. I think the way around it, which I'm going to try and do in the future, is to make it more hands-on, more kinesthetic, children moving around more sort of play-based learning, if you like. Remember what we're thinking about most of all today, apart from the nice food, is measurement.
Stop.
The web feedback's made me realise that loads of things I can do to address, you know, the kind of holes in my lesson.
When we're dividing into thirds, how many groups are we going to have? 3 lots of what are going to make 24?
I think just getting your hands dirty and doing the cooking really gives it a context.
No.
Weight is...
Pentagrams or grams.
Okay.
And just makes the children realise, A, why we're learning it, and B, they want to do it. So they get much more involved, they're much more engaged, and so that's really good.
I'm looking forward to try that jelly later on.
When you've got a class with such a great range of abilities, it's crucial that, you know, the activities that I do are engaging for all abilities, and hopefully if they're engaged, then they'll learn.
It's the day of James's final observation. Claire Gillies is back, and it's crunch time.
Right, this week in maths, we've been looking at money.
With all the expert advice and weeks of practice behind him, will James have made it from good to outstanding?
Right. Now, lots of you have been asking me, what is the tape for on the floor? Now you're going to find out. Very sensibly, stand up. I'm going to show you on the board some coins. If this side is greater, I want you to move this way. If this side is greater, I want you to move this way. Here we go. Have a look and move to the side that you think is the biggest. Lots going this way. Let's do one more.
25. It's this side. The activity we did in the copy, it was fun because it involved us to move around.
On the board, I've got a receipt. If you look very carefully at the receipt, you'll see that it's in columns. And this is what today's learning objective is all about, adding up using column additions. And what I've bought is some food items and everyone's favourite, some broccoli.
I love that.
Now, lavender. Can you pick one for me, please? The banana. 19p. Helen Louise, another item, please. How much are they?
65p.
65p. Abdullahi?
Toilet roll.
How much is toilet roll, Abdullahi?
50p.
50p. Okay. Using our columns, we add them up. 9 plus 5, 14. The 4 goes here, and we carry the 1.
It was easy because adding on, we learned before, and adding on money is just same as adding on numbers.
What we'll do now is we're going to stop and go to our desks. If you are sitting on Rachel's table or Samaya's table, I've given you a little brochure. What I want you to do is to pretend that you've got £30 to spend and need to provide breakfast, lunch and dinner for 2 days for 3 people. If you're working on Amina's and Jared's table, with £3, you need to come up with as many different combinations of food as possible. This table here, you're going to do some work with me using some money and our food objects. Okay?
I'll see. Let me see the cheapest thing. No, but yes. £3. It needs to be less than £3. £30. Look, can you see? You have £30. I know you have £30 over there.
Tin of soup. That could be for dinner. Pizza.
I'm on pizza for lunch today. £2.49. Pizza.
We had to write day 1 breakfast, day 1 lunch, day 1 dinner, and I got a bit confused on them.
That covers the orange, and the banana, 10, 15, 17, 19. Good boy. Fantastic. How about you? How are you getting on? Not very well.
It was fun because we need to have skills in our life if we want to get a job and get yourself a house.
And I can see those children over here managed to keep within budget of £30. Okay? The children over here, we were using coins and we were paying for items as if we're in a shop. Who each time I asked them, they got the right coins out, which is really, really good.
Will all James's hard work have paid off?
James, let me say perhaps straight away that it was certainly a stronger lesson than the last one I saw. I don't feel as a whole that lesson was outstanding, but it was good and there were some sort of really strong points. The beginning, you know, was a lovely idea and they smiled and they laughed and they loved moving about. So that's a real plus. It was great that you'd thought to give different work to the different tables. I think the lot who were doing the you mustn't spend more than £3, a few of them were quite ready for the concept of how many things could you manage to buy without going over the £3. You know, a little bit more challenge. And the group on these tables here, did they get it was 3 adults? The £30 seemed very, very generous to them because we weren't buying enough. So I think the reason it wasn't this time outstanding was because they'd clearly, some of them, done a lot of this before. They could remember doing it last year, last term, and I think some of them needed a bit more oomph to go further. Yeah. But, you know, that we had 3 good chunks, we kept going, they were happy, enjoying themselves. So let's look for all the positives, and I'm sure that the outstanding lesson is there on the horizon. Thanks again for letting me join the lesson.
Thank you. Over the last couple of weeks, I've really kind of got an idea of what you need to be doing to teach an outstanding lesson. And I think the fact that I felt today that it wasn't kind of where it should be, made me realise kind of where I'd fallen short. But there's been so much good input from people, which has been really beneficial. I've got a good sense of what I need to be doing to deliver an outstanding lesson, and I'm confident I can do it one day.